And speaking of fall, a dish that we have been so excited for this entire morning, here in our kitchen is Rebecca Weaver this morning, and she is making a delicious, get this, pumpkin cheesecake. It's something you're going to want to have on your Thanksgiving
excited.
Good morning, Rebecca. Thank you for joining us bright and early this morning.
Good morning. How are y'all?
Good. And I see you got a helper with you this morning. Hey,
Yes. Alex came in to help. He was helping last night, and he's like, you know what? Why don't I go on the show and help you out? I said, yeah, that's a great idea.
Can you tell us exactly how you make this pumpkin cheesecake? I see you have quite the spread this morning. Can you tell us how to get started?
Yes. So viewers will notice this is probably one of the most complex recipes that we've made so far on the show. And you know, with COVID still presenting all the challenges, a lot of people are going to be doing holidays a little bit differently, staying home, so there's more time to make amazing memories. So why not do that with your food too? So we are going to be making a pumpkin cheesecake with a gingerbread crust topped with spiced caramel bourbon apples.
Yum.
Yes, it's a lot.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh, it's delectable. And so I'll go ahead and tell you how to prep, and then Alex will walk you through how to make the actual crust. So what you're going to want to do before you even start is make sure that you have a springform pan. And so that's the pan that has the little lever on the side that you'll be able to open and close your pan with, okay? Because that's like your typical cheesecake pan. You'll notice that the bottom is not in ours because obviously our cheesecake is on it right now. But what you'll do is obviously make sure your bottom is there, make sure the pan is tight and locked, and then you're going to go ahead and wrap it in your foil, making sure that you wrap both sides in the foil. You want to do that because you'll be putting it in a water bath later, so it's going to keep the water out of the bottom of your pan, okay? So to go ahead and start, after you've already wrapped your pan, it's time to do the crust. You want to go ahead and tell them how we do the crust, Alex?
Sure. So you're going to want 1.5 cups of ginger snaps, which we have here. We have triple ginger snaps, but you can really just use any type of ginger snaps. You're going to want to crush them up, and you're going to put them into like a bowl of some kind, just big enough for you to mix them with, because then you're going to need to add 1/3 of brown sugar to it, and then you're going to want to add 6 tablespoons of melted butter, and you want to mix it all together. And you want to make sure that when you're mixing it, you don't leave any dry chunks, or that's going to lead to your cheesecake being like crumbly and it's going to fall apart, which no one likes. And when you mix it all together, you want to make sure afterwards that you take your mixture and you want to like pack it tightly at the bottom of your pan, and then you're going to bake it in the oven.
So at 375 for 7 minutes is how long you're going to bake your crust. Once you start with your crust, you're going to take your crust out, set that aside, and let it cool. Then it's time to get to your mixture. And so with your mixture, you're going to start with your cream cheese. We used about 4 packages of cream cheese with ours, and you start in levels. So you put your cream cheese in, and then you'll start with a mixer. If you have a stand mixer, brilliant. If not, you can use your own hand mixer. So again, you don't need to have a very well-equipped kitchen, just some of the basics. And then you're going to start with your cream cheese, mix that around, add a little sugar, continue to mix, and then you're going to add 4 eggs. Starting one by one, you'll mix all the eggs in, and then you'll have this super creamy, just delectable mixture. From there, you're going to remove about 2 cups of your cheesecake mixture. You're going to mix that with 1 can of pumpkin, and then you're going to add all your favorite spices. We have cinnamon, nutmeg, pumpkin pie spice, and ginger, and then you'll mix all that together. From there, you're going to actually pour your pumpkin in first, then pour the remaining plain cheesecake on top. You'll bake it in your oven. So once you're done putting all that together, you'll put it into your water bath with about 1 inch of water, and then you'll bake it in your oven for about an hour at 350 degrees. You'll take it out, let it cool completely. Then you move over to your amazing topping, and it's a combination of apple pie filling, whole apples, Granny Smith apples, and then we added some bourbon, maple syrup, vanilla, and then we also had toasted pecans. And so in order to toast the pecans and really bring out that flavor, we put them in the oven 325 for about 8 minutes or so to really let those oils release. And then we put it all in here, put it on the stove, let it simmer. Again, we added some more cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger, and apple pie spice. Bring all those flavors together, and you have just an amazing cheesecake. And then you'll see that once we took our cheesecake out of the oven, we let it cool completely. We put it in the refrigerator overnight, and then once you bring it out the next day, then you put your topping over top, and oh my gosh, like flavor explosion.
Yes.
First of all, I feel like I'm taking notes.
Right? Because Like I'm really
like, wait, how do I
my
write this
mic
down?
cannot pick up my stomach rumbling this morning. Now, Rebecca, I personally can go through a cheesecake, and I hate to admit this on air, through a couple days, but how long does that delicious cheesecake
So
last?
interestingly enough, my boy said it's not even going to last past today. Like, we actually just want to take the pumpkin. We just wanted to eat it with a spoon.
Exactly.
We didn't even make it in the cheesecake form. But if you put it in your refrigerator, it'll probably last, like you said, three days or so, you know, if people are consistently eating on it. And so you want to make sure that you refrigerate it afterwards, again, because you do have those eggs in it. If you're a vegan, you do not have to use eggs and cream cheese. Obviously, you can still make a great cheesecake. You'll just substitute things like cashews and the coconut cream and stuff like that for the actual dairy ingredients.
Oh, yum, delicious, delicious.
Lots of little life
I
hacks.
just can't even, my mouth is just almost on the ground because that just looks so good.
Salivating. And
Well, we're
Elizabeth,
about to
I'm
eat
with you.
this when we get off air, viewers.
Oh, yeah.
I'm with Elizabeth. That cheesecake is not going to last long, I can assure you of that. If you would like to make this at home, you can get this recipe on our website after the show. That's WCTV.tv. Rebecca, Alex, thank you so much for joining us bright and early this morning.
Happy holidays.
We'll be right back.